The views and opinions expressed in this podcast are simply that, opinions. All are presumed innocent until proven otherwise in a court of law. Sensitive topics are discussed. Discretion is advised.
House for 2 years. I lived with Laken at the time of her death for a little over a year and a half.
Okay. How would you describe your relationship with Laken?
We were roommates, but the term roommates is an overgeneralization of our relationship. Our house was like a little family, and we called each other our family. We did everything together. We had family dinners, family TV nights and movie nights. Laken brought a sense of joy to all of our lives that has been missing ever since.
May I approach the witness, Your Honor?
Yes.
Henry, what's been marked for identification purposes in States Exhibit 1. Do you recognize the person in States 1?
I do.
Who is it?
Laken Riley.
And does it fairly and accurately depict Laken as she appeared in life?
Yes.
Statement moved to admit States Exhibit 1. Request permission to publish. No objection.
It's admitted, and you may publish.
So, how old was Laken?
She was 22.
Where did she go to school?
At the time, she was going to Augusta College of Nursing, which had an Athens location.
What was she studying there?
Nursing.
Prior to attending Augusta College, had she attended the UGA?
Yes.
Okay. How long was she at UGA?
She was at UGA for 3 years before that.
Did you and Laken and your other roommates share each other's location?
We did.
Tell the court how you all did that.
So there's an app called Find My iPhone, Find My Friends, and you can request to have other people's locations, share your location with other people. So we did that with a lot of our friends.
Tell the court, where were you on February 22nd?
I went a few different places. That morning I was at our house, and then I ran a few errands, ended up back at our house, ran another errand, went back to our house.
Did you see Laken that morning?
I did not.
Okay. What time did you leave your house?
Around 9:30, I believe.
Okay. And when you left your house to go out, was Laken there or not there?
She was not there.
Okay. At some point, did you become aware that people were looking for Laken?
So I kind of had concerns of my own. When I left the house the first time, I wanted to go get coffee with Laken. I knew Laken was the only one who may have been home. Sophia was taking an exam and Connolly had class. And so I knew Laken might have been home. I went downstairs and I didn't see her sitting at her usual spot at the kitchen table. So I checked her location to see where she was. And I saw that she was on a run at on a trail that she typically ran.
May I approach the witness, Your Honor?
Yes.
I'm handing you what's been marked for identification purposes of States Exhibit 2. Do you recognize States 2?
I do.
What is States 2?
This is a screenshot from the app Find My Friends of Laken's location.
And is that how it appeared when you checked it on the morning of February 22nd of 2024?
Yes.
Statement moved to admit States Exhibit 2. No objection.
Two's admitted.
And may I publish?
Yes.
Publishing States Exhibit 2, could you tell the court what we're looking at here? Explain this to us. What is this?
Sure. So the LR is the initials of Laken Riley. You can see that at the bottom. And underneath her name is a rough just address, I guess, of where she was at. And then underneath that, it says now. This is the exact time of when her location, the way that it updated, it would say now. So that was her location at that exact time.
And is that what you saw when you first checked her?
Yes.
Now, where is that location? And is your house in here as well, and other people? We see other initials, CH, MC, what are those?
Yes, so CH is Connolly Huth. That is my roommate. And so her location right there is at our house. And then MC, that is one of my other friends who lived further down the street.
And LR was Laken Riley?
Yes.
And where is that location that you saw her? Are you familiar with that location?
Roughly, yes.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
when you checked it, what about the first time you checked it, approximately what time?
It was about 9:30 from what I remember.
Okay. So did you, again, check it again?
Yes, so when I got home from my first set of errands, and I saw that Laken still wasn't home. That wasn't unusual because it was only about an hour after I checked her first location, so I thought maybe she was just still on a run. Checked it a second time around 10:45, I believe. That's a rough estimate. And I saw that it was in the same location. That did raise some concerns. So I texted Laken and just was checking in on her, and then addressing Connolly in a group message. I said, she's been in the woods a while.
Did you have a cell phone service that day?
So that day there was an AT&T service outage. So I was not, I did not have service if I was not connected to the Wi-Fi at my house. So if I left the house, I was not able to communicate or receive any communication.
So where were you home then? At approximately what time did you get home when you realized that she had not left the woods?
That was about 10:45, and then I ended up leaving the house again because I still wasn't. I just thought she was still on a run, and there was maybe she was on the phone or something.
And then what time did you return again?
I would say roughly 11:30. I'm a little less familiar with what exact time that was.
And when you got home at 11:30, was there anyone else home?
Yes, so I immediately pulled in and I saw Sofia standing outside with her dog. And I got out of the car and she just immediately said, can we go look for Laken? Yeah,
And did y'all do so?
we did.
And what did y'all do?
So Sophia was a little bit more familiar with the trail. We walked down using her knowledge of the path that Laken would usually take on a run. And then when we got a little bit closer, we were using the Find My Friends app to kind of go directly to where her location was until we were standing kind of right around it.
When you were at the location where you felt that Laken was showing on her phone, did you see Laken?
We did not.
Did you see anything that you think may have belonged to Laken?
So when we were walking, Sophia noticed a lone AirPod that was sitting on the trail, kind of right around where her location was, and she picked it up, kind of assuming that it was Laken's.
All right, now I'll ask Sophia about that. At some point, did you all return home?
We did.
Okay, when you got home, what did you do?
Everything about Lilly Steiner's testimony there is bringing Laken Riley to life inside of this courtroom and in front of this judge.
This is the Court TV podcast.
We are watching together day one of the murder trial for a defendant who's accused of killing a nursing student, Laken Riley. This happened near University of Georgia's campus. The prosecution says that Jose Ibarra murdered Riley while she was jogging in February of this year. Let's get you back to the court. On the stand is the victim's roommate, Lilly Steiner.
It wasn't shortly after that we got home that I called 911, or not 911, excuse me, the UGA Police Department.
May I push the trigger? The name was been marked for identification purposes as States Exhibit 3. Do you recognize States 3?
I do.
What is it?
It is the phone call that I made to the police.
And is it a fair and accurate recording of your 911 call that you made on February 22nd, 2024 at approximately 12:05 p.m.?
It is.
When you reported Laken missing?
It is.
State move to admit States Exhibit 3, request permission to publish. No objection. Your Honor, did we have to toggle back over so that you could hear it? I don't know the system like that.
Yes, we did.
We do.
The laptop.
Yes, sir.
I'm not sure, but we'll see.
Yes, sir. Because I know it's playing, but I can't hear it.
Is that on HDMI? I don't know.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
12:05:55, 2nd February 22, 2024. Mercy, please. This is Jed.
Hi, we're calling because our roommate went out for a run at 9. He usually runs like through Lake Herrick behind grad housing, and we haven't heard from her. And we all just got like service back, so we don't think it has anything to do with the outage. We went to go look to where her last location was, and all we found was an AirPod.
Okay. Hold on 1 second for me.
Okay.
You said last seen near the IM fields?
It's like behind the IM field, so we live near like grad housing, like building 8, and so it's the woods behind there.
Okay, have you tried calling her since you just got service back?
Yes, we've been here. Her family doesn't have AT&T, which was the one with the power outage, so they've had service the whole time, and her calls have been ringing through. We're just not getting answers.
Okay, where are you at right now?
I'm going to stop Stacey 73 at 1 minute in. Is somebody else also talking?
Yes, so I was having trouble explaining kind of where Laken's location was, just because I wasn't super familiar with that area. So Sofia Magana, my roommate, took my phone.
Okay, are y'all together when you're making this call?
Yes.
At our house on Millers Avenue Extension.
Okay, are you able to come? Hold on, let's see. Can you come, do you know where the intramural field parking deck is?
Yeah, we can go there.
Okay, can you go there and meet the officers? What's your name?
My name's Sofia Magana.
And what's your friend's name?
The one, her name's Laken Riley.
12:07:43, 2nd February 22, 2024. What is your phone number?
The one that I'm calling you from is 678.
Okay, I'm going to ask you, do you remember Laken's phone number off the top of your head?
Kind of, but yeah.
Are you about to say it to 911?
Yes.
And is the number that you gave, 911, was that Laken's cell phone number?
Yes.
That we're about to hear?
Yes.
All right, thank you.
Let me look. 770.
Do you know if she has class or anything at this point?
She has a class at 1, so that's it's her nursing. She's at Augusta Nursing School, and she does not miss class.
Twelve 08:43, 2nd February 22, 2024. How did you get her last known location? Was it from her phone?
Yes, it was updating, so that's why we're a little confused. But we didn't see her phone up anywhere when we left.
You can tell that 911 call, they aren't quite to the point of knowing what happened. They just are very concerned. But let's bring back in trial attorney and host of Once Upon a Crime in Hollywood podcast. Kelly Hyman is with us. Kelly, seeing Lilly there, even getting choked up, listening to it, just reminds you how powerful a witness it is to have her as the first witness. Talk about that choice by the state.
So when the state presents its case, it decides who it wants to present as the first witness. Usually you put your strongest witness in the beginning, and then you want to end strong as well. So this is a very powerful person for the state to bring as a witness. She comes across as very believable, very compelling, and very nervous. I mean, here she is, and she loses her best friend. She considered her family, and having to go through this step by step, talking about the location, and then talking about searching for her as well, and then calling the police and trying to find out where she is very compelling.
Oh yeah, just she's taking us on this emotional roller coaster that she was on during that time. A bench trial doesn't spare victims from having to come in and testify. Unfortunately for the victims, but for the defense, they are getting the chance to put this all in front of a judge.
The Court TV podcast will return.
Welcome back. We're watching together the murder trial for Laken Riley happening in Georgia. Testimony is underway right now in Athens. Defendant Jose Ibarra is accused of killing the 22-year-old nursing student earlier this year. This is as she was jogging around a wooded area of the University of Georgia's campus. Prosecutors say that Ibarra struck Riley in the head with a rock multiple times and then strangled her. He's facing life in prison if he's convicted. Let's get you back into court now. We are listening to more testimony from a friend, a roommate, a very close personal friend of the victim, and someone who was looking for her that morning that no one knew where she was. Lilly Steiner.
I'm on my way to the IM field now.
Okay, that's fine. How long ago was it that you last called her?
I mean, like 5 minutes. 12:09:56 2nd February 22, 2024.
Okay. So what kind of vehicle are you going to be in so the officers know to look for? How did she get there? Did she run from your house there, or did she take a vehicle there?
Yeah, she runs the trail. Her car's still at our house.
Okay, we've got officers on the way, all right?
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Police, this is good.
Hi, my name's
Another call that got attached. So after you made that 911 call, what did you do?
I drove to the the intramural fields parking deck on UGA's campus to meet with the police.
And where did Sofia go?
So Connolly was in class. Sofia went to go pick up Connolly from class so that they could meet us at the IM field with the police.
And did the three of y'all meet there?
Yes.
And were the police officers there?
Yes.
At some point, did a police officer ask you if you could show him the location of Laken as it depicted on your phone?
Yes.
And did you do so?
Yes.
And the thing that you showed him, as it states Exhibit 2, what we've already looked at?
Yes.
Okay. How long did y'all have to stay there that day at the IM fields?
It felt like forever. I'm not sure of the exact amount of time, but maybe around 5 hours.
At some point, did the police ask you to show them the ring footage from your home where Laken had left out in the morning?
Yes, there were a few times that the police asked for different things, but I did show somebody at some point, yes.
May I approach the witness, Your Honor?
Yes.
I'm handing you what's been marked for identification purposes. It states Exhibit 4. Do you recognize it?
I do.
And did you put your initials and date that thumb drive?
I did.
What is states Exhibit 4?
This is the ring footage from our front door of Laken leaving that morning.
And is it a fair and accurate recording of that ring footage?
Yes.
They removed to mid-states 4, request permission to publish.
No objection.
Submitted and you may publish.
Pause it quickly. Do you see, first of all, in States 4 that is now being published, the date and the time of this footage?
Yes.
Could you tell the court where is it and what is it?
It's in the bottom right corner.
And what's the date and what's the time?
February 22nd, 2024, 9:03 Eastern.
And who is that person that we see in States Exhibit 4?
That is Laken.
After 9:03 a.m. on the 22nd day of February, did you ever hear from Laken again?
I did not.
Did you ever receive any text messages from her?
Not after 9:03, no.
Any calls from her?
No.
I'll pass the witness, Your Honor.
Any questions?
I don't have any questions for this.
Can she be excused?
Yes, sir.
Now, back to the Court TV podcast.
How old are you?
I'm okay.
Okay, all right. What do you do for a living?
I'm a teacher.
And what do you teach?
I teach special education, high school language arts.
How long have you been a teacher?
4 months.
Where did you go to college?
I went to the University of Georgia.
And did you graduate?
Yes, ma'am, in May.
Of this year?
Yes.
Where were you living at the time of your graduation?
I was living in a house off of Millage Avenue Extension.
Who were you living with?
Lilly, Connolly, and Laken.
How long have y'all lived together?
I lived with them for 2 years.
I want to direct your attention to February 22nd, 2024. What were you doing that day?
I was taking my GACE exam for my certification.
How do you spell that?
GACE.
What is a GACE exam?
It's a test you're required to take to get certified as a teacher in the state of Georgia.
Were you allowed to have your phone with you when you took the test?
No, ma'am. I had to put it in a locker.
What time did you leave your house that morning to take the test?
Around 8:20.
When you left your house that morning, did you see any of your other roommates?
I saw Laken and Connolly before I left.
Where did you see them?
Connolly was on our couch and Laken was sitting at the table, and I spoke to them for a little bit.
When you left out, where did you go for the test? Was it on campus or elsewhere?
It was on campus. It was in Clark Hall.
How long were you there taking your test?
I got there around like 8:45 and I left maybe around 11:15ish.
When you completed your test, what happened?
I got my stuff, I got back in my car, and I drove back to my house because I didn't have service, so...
When you say service, you didn't have what service?
Phone service.
And why didn't you have phone service?
Because AT&T had the outage that morning, and my provider's AT&T.
So, what happened when you were eventually able to get service back on?
I got back home, and when I got service, I had some text from Connolly, my roommate, asking me to check around the house to see if I saw Laken anywhere. And then once I got into the house, I got a phone call from Connolly and Lauren.
Who's Lauren?
Lauren's Laken's younger sister.
Well, after you got the call.
We are hitting the pause button on this testimony. We'll get you back in for the trial for Jose Ibarra, accused of killing Laken Riley.
Now, back to the Court TV podcast.
We are in Athens, Georgia, following a trial for a man who was accused of killing a nursing student back in February. Her name was Laken Riley, and the defendant who's accused in her death is Jose Ibarra. He appeared in court earlier this week. We were standing by waiting for jury selection to start when he waived his right to a jury trial and opted instead to have a bench trial. That means only a judge is going to decide his fate, going to determine the law and determine the facts in this case. Let's get you into the courtroom now for more testimony from the victim's roommate, Sofia Magana.
Connolly, did you look for Laken?
Yes, I looked for her around the house and outside, in her car, kind of everywhere, every room, every corner, a few times, and I didn't see her.
What did you do after that?
I grabbed my dog and I decided to check her location on Find My iPhone, and then got my dog on his leash and started heading out to go towards her location.
Did you go alone, or did someone else besides your dog go with you?
Champ came with me, and then my roommate Lilly.
Champ is your dog?
Yes, ma'am.
So where did y'all walk, and about how long did it take you to get there?
We walked down the trail that was like off the road, so it took us about no more than 15 minutes, I would say maybe 10, to get to where we got.
May I approach the witness, Your Honor?
Yes.
I'm showing you 3 exhibits at the same time. State's Exhibit 5, State's Exhibit 6, and State's Exhibit 7. Starting first with State's Exhibit 5, do you recognize that overall photo?
Yes, ma'am.
What is it?
It's a map of the trail.
The state would move to admit State's Exhibit 5. No objection.
File submitted.
State's Exhibit 6 and 7, can you look at both of those?
Yes, ma'am.
Do you recognize both of those?
Yes, ma'am.
What are
The
they?
pictures I took when I found an AirPod.
And do they fairly and accurately depict what you saw on February 22nd of 2024?
Yes, ma'am.
State would move to admit States 6 and 7 request permission to publish. No objection.
6 and 7 are admitted, and then published file 6 and 7.
And may we toggle back over, Your Honor?
Yes.
Starting first with State's Exhibit 5, and I have a pointer that I think you could use that has a laser on it. No one will be able to see that. Your Honor, can you see the screen if she uses a pointer?
I can. I've got it. You got the other one? Okay.
And that's probably going to be the better way to go.
I think she's got it, yeah.
If you could show His Honor, what direction did you and Champ and Lilly go, and where were you when you found an AirPod?
So we started here, and then right about here.
At the end of the...
at Millage, where it
Millage
turned
Avenue?
into a sidewalk.
Okay.
We got to the sidewalk, and then there's the train tracks like right here, and there's a little like trail that's just been walked over a lot, so we went down the trail and then crossed over the train tracks and then walked this all
Around
the
the
way.
retaining pond?
Yes,
On the
ma'am,
side of it?
around the retaining pond.
All right.
Can I stand up?
You may stand with the court's permission.
Yes.
Thank you. But keep your voice up so Madam Court Reporter can hear you.
Okay. So we walked here, and then this is where like the main trail starts. So we got over here. There's like a turn. And we took the curve and we stopped right about there.
Okay. So when you say there, is there a trail there?
Yes, ma'am. It's all a trail.
And that's on the top right part of State's Exhibit 5. For the record, I'm just making a record for the court.
Right.
Okay. Where within the trail, was it on the side of the trail, the middle of the trail, where within the trail did you find the iPod? AirPod, sorry.
The AirPod was towards the left-hand side, but still on the trail.
And showing you, first of all, how did you find the AirPod?
Champ was sniffing a lot, and so I looked down because he was really fixated over a specific area where I kind of had stopped, and he was pulling, and then when I looked over, I noticed there was like a white AirPod, so.
All right, State's Exhibit 7. What are we looking at there? And can you see the AirPod?
Yes.
Can you point to it for the court?
It's right here.
Okay. the bottom of this photo.
Yes, ma'am. That's where I found the AirPod, or where it was when we got it.
And you said this is State's Exhibit 6. First of all, do we see Champ in State's Exhibit 6?
Yes, ma'am. He's right here.
All right, in the corner, the left corner of the photograph.
Yes, ma'am.
If you could use State's Exhibit 6, show us within the trail where you found the AirPod.
The AirPod was about right here.
Okay, where your shadow is?
Yes, ma'am.
Or a shadow of a person?
Yeah, my shadow.
All right. Okay, thank you. While out there, did you see Laken?
No.
Okay. When you found the AirPod, did you look at it?
Yes, ma'am, I did.
Did you think it was Laken's?
I did.
And why did you think it was Laken's AirPod?
She always had a little bit more wax on her AirPods, so I noticed the earwax.
Okay. And was it also, did she have, what color were her AirPods?
They were white.
Okay. So did you collect it?
Yes, ma'am, I did.
And did you eventually give it to the police?
Yes, ma'am, I did.
May I approach the witness, Your Honor?
Yes.
I'm handing you what's been marked for identification purposes, State's Exhibit 8. And I'm just going to ask you to look inside this bag for me, and I'm going to ask you a series of questions.
Okay.
Look inside that bag. Do you recognize what is inside State's Exhibit 8?
Yes, ma'am.
What is it?
It's her AirPod.
Is that the one that you picked up on the 22nd day of February 2024 that you gave to the University Police Department?
Yes, ma'am.
And is it in the same or substantially same condition?
Yes.
State would move to admit State's Exhibit 8, request permission to publish.
No objection.
8 submitted and you may publish.
To the court.
Is it one? Just one?
Just
Yes.
one.
Okay.
After you found the AirPod, Ms. Magana, what did you do?
I took the pictures first just to remember. And at that point, I picked it up and I turned around to Lily and I told her we were going to walk back to call the police because we both didn't have service.
And did y'all do that?
Yes, ma'am, we did.
And then where did you go after the police were called?
I went to go pick up my roommate Connolly from her class, and then I met Lily with Connolly at the IM field deck.
And when y'all were at the IM field deck, did the police respond?
Yes, ma'am.
And did you tell them the information that you had gathered?
Yes, ma'am.
Ms. Magana, did you receive any text messages, any calls, or any communication with Laken Riley after 9:03 a.m. on the 22nd day of February 2024?
No, ma'am. My last text from her was at 9:02.
This podcast is a production of Court TV. Go to CourtTV.com for more content, trials on demand, and to find out how to watch Court TV in your area.